Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse One here. Welcome, welcome. Um, Real quick before we even jump into anything, if there's any disruptions or interruptions with this chat, please, I will automatically reload and start again. It has been known to happen with YouTube, as we all know. So just pay attention to that. So just so you guys know, okay. So before we get started, I just wanted to say that this is a very family-friendly oriented channel. So please watch your language. Please be decent to each other in the chat. If you are not, I have these awesome moderators here that will boot you out of the chat. So just to put that out there right off the bat, okay? So we're going to be talking about the Virginia gun rally tomorrow, okay? Sharing a couple thoughts with you, sharing what is being portrayed out in the news media as well, because I think that's important as well, all right? So, it's a discredit to some of the people that are probably watching this video, just so you know too. So let's first of all talk about what is the media portraying this rally as. They're saying that it's going to be a bunch of white nationals. It's going to be, white supremacists, and it's going to be Trump supporters. That's of course those are the only people that care about the Second Amendment and gun laws, right? Oh, and let's not forget the militia groups. They've talked about the militia groups too, but they lump that in with the whole thing. So that's a completely fabricated thing by the news media. Of course, so anybody of color that's watching my show right now, I would be pretty pissed at the news media if it was me, because they're saying you're not smart enough to stand up for your Second Amendment rights and to protest peacefully because of those rights. So that I would be upset if I was a person of color, with this whole way the media has portrayed this whole thing. All right. Now, that being said, so this gun rally is happening tomorrow. The governor there is wetting his pants. He's already put, into play that they're not going to. So what they're not going to allow, and I love this. One of them can't use those pen lights. Can't use the pen lights, right? So you're going to put that in the cop's eyes or something? They think, who knows? But that's outlawed. Obviously, no guns. They said no torches. No baseball bats and no baseballs are going to be allowed. Those are some of their stipulations, what they're going to do. They're trying to control the narrative, obviously, of how this thing goes down. I think that if it's let to be what is truly meant to be, which is a peaceful protest of people exercising their absolute rights to protest because of the eradication and the chipping away at our Second Amendment rights, I think in that case it would be great. But I also believe that you're going to have people that have infiltrated into the crowd dressed as, say, Trump supporters or Second Amendment guys and stuff like that, and they're there to cause trouble, to stir things up. Will some people have guns? I'm sure that they will. Depending on how big the crowd is, I believe that there will be people that are going to be armed at this event. You are going to have your counter-protest type of people, like your Antifa people and stuff like that there as well. Now, if they were smart, they would stay way away from those other people that are protesting, because these are not going to be your average, 90-year-old protesters. These are people that have had enough of the nonsense. They've had enough of their rights being taken away, and they're standing up and they're doing something about it. I absolutely respect their right to protest whatever they want. For myself personally, I think that you are opening up a can of worms, and it could end up leading to a lot more trouble. Because if you get some agitators in the crowd that are placed on purpose in the crowd that starts trying to stir stuff up, it's going to put everything in a bad light when it wasn't meant to be in a bad light. You have a lot of people that want our rights taken away, and they're going to do whatever they can possibly do to make that happen. Antifa was in Virginia setting up barricades today. Mary Helton just said that. Okay, well, there you go, too. And so, but barricades don't stop at determined people. I can tell you that right now. This could go a couple different ways. This whole event could go a couple of different ways. It could go off without a hitch with no problems, and that would be great. That would be ideal. People basically saying, enough is enough. Now, you can carry a knife under 3 inches, TB just said. Okay. But, the problem is, how do you get him out of office, the governor? Well, you know what? The people of Virginia voted him in. So, you put these lunatics in office, like we have them here in New York. I'm going to tell you what, most of the people in the state and through central and upstate New York and all that type of stuff, we never vote for Cuomo. But you got all your liberals in the cities, Long Island, Albany, New York City and stuff like that. They all vote for him, and so he gets to stay in office and continue to destroy our state. New York State's an awesome state. We just got a lunatic running stuff right now, making up their own rules. And the corruption in Albany, I'll tell you what, the corruption in Albany is unbelievable. Unbelievable how bad it is. So, voted in by fraud. Well, that wouldn't shock me either, So, but there's a lot of, like I said, this whole rally, I support the rally. I absolutely support the rally. And I've talked about this before, guys, and I'll say it again because this is how I feel. You will never see me at any kind of protest because even if I believe in the protest, I don't think in the long run it ever does any good. And that's just my opinion. It's just an opportunity for trouble. If you get caught up in the wrong moment at the right time, a lot of bad things can happen. A lot of bad things can happen. And I don't want to be caught up in that crowd mentality because then it's like I want to just get out of Dodge. So, I mean, do you think they may play in a red flag event? I'm worried because my son is going. You know what, Tina? It wouldn't shock me that they would try to pull something. It would not shock me at all. They could have somebody open up on the crowd even. I mean, you just never know. There's so many bad things that could happen because you have so many people that are really seriously pissed off, and rightfully so, 100% rightfully so. I think it's a recipe for disaster. It could be a really bad thing. I agree, large crowds in these situations equals trouble. Absolutely, Law and Order Prepper. I think it's going to be a real scary situation. They're going to continue to stop your rights from you no matter what you do. You're exactly right, Sean Wheeler. They have, these law books on their hands and they feel like they're doing what they need to do or whatever. And why? And again, and I'm going to say it over and over and over again. Why disarm the law-abiding citizen? Why are they not going after the criminals? The people that are out there really breaking the law, committing crimes, robbing and raping and stealing and all those. Why don't we go after those people? Why are you going after the law-abiding citizen that wants to be able to protect themselves from some scumbag breaking into their house and stealing all their stuff? Because once you disarm everybody, you've done nothing but set everybody up to be a victim. People now are going to have to hide in their home, in their homes, waiting for somebody that is truly a criminal to come with their gun and take your stuff. It makes absolutely no sense to me, none whatsoever. And that's what they want to have happen. I don't know if you guys realize that or not. This is what happens when you don't vote. You are delusional if you think that your vote matters, because they have it all set up. When you have full cemeteries of people that are voting in an election, in the corruption in these political parties, it makes no difference. It makes no difference, truly. I mean, if you think that it does, then that's sad that you actually believe that. People that don't already own a lifetime of ammo and rifles haven't been paying attention. You know what? BM Savage Wagon, I can't disagree with you on that at all. People that are paying attention have been getting ready, have continued to get ready. And that is the smart thing to do. Here's one thing I will tell you, and this is kind of the way I've always felt. Oh, I got somebody wanting to go out. Well, they'll have to wait. When you have, when something goes down in a worst case type of scenario, the laws are not going to matter anymore anyway. So nobody's going to say to you, well, geez, where did you get that with your high capacity magazine and this and that here in New York State? It doesn't matter anymore at that point. People are going to do what they have to do to protect themselves. That's the bottom line. And I don't care if it's New York, Virginia, wherever it's going to be. And if you think unconstitutional gun laws are going to stop people from continuing to have, they can ban everything they want. Look at New Zealand. How many of the people in New Zealand truly complied with their ban on so-called assault rifles? I mean, realistically, let's think about that. Look at the numbers. Wasn't a whole lot that turned in their weapons. And I'm sure there was a lot more weapons Hello, young man. All right, here's my boy. This is look at you got to see his colors on his back. Hope you can see that okay. Gelko was one of the kittens from the litter, and his coloring was so cool, and I loved his coloring that I had to have this cat. So he's one of the ones that stayed. So anyway, if Virginia fails to do the rest of, so does the rest of the United States. You know what? Okay, we got Jason Smith at less than 5% in New Zealand. Hey, John, saw a Facebook post today that Virginia State Senator Amanda Chase said the ban was a setup. If anything happens, they would use the Patriot Act against the protesters and charge them with terrorism. Well, you know, and I don't disagree with that either. They're looking. So think about this. I want you guys to think about this. You have a large contingency of pro-Second Amendment people, a whole bunch of them going down for this rally, right, from all over the different states to support, you know, people in Virginia. What a great opportunity to arrest a whole bunch of Americans who don't play by the rules, who believe that we have the right to be having, you know, our Second Amendment rights. It's a great opportunity to arrest a whole bunch of people. And that would be my concern, one of my concerns at that point, you know. And on top of that, let's think about this. License plates being taken pictures of. Cameras are going to be everywhere. They're going to be filming everybody. Facial recognition features. They're going to know who's there. They're going to know who's not there. All right. You are making yourself a huge, huge target by being there. And that is the truth. And, you know, they don't follow the rules. That's the other thing that people really don't understand. We may follow the rules, right, and try to do it the right way and do the right thing. These people that are in office, they don't follow any rules. They make up rules as they go along. And that's something to think about. It's a very, very scary situation, and I'm hoping that it goes well tomorrow. Let's see. What if none showed up at the rally? Well, that's not going to be the case. There's a lot of people that are going to be there. But I like I said, I hope nothing bad happens. I really, truly do. I would not count on that. I would not be surprised. And of course, how will the media portray anything that happens, right? Think about that. Oh, it's these horrible, you know, and I don't care if half the crowd was black, Hispanic, American Indian, or whatever. They're going to blame white people. That's what they're going to do. Oh, it's the white nationalist. It's, you know, the white supremacist and these, you know, 3%er, you know, things that don't let anybody black in their groups. Those are the ones, they're all causing problems and hate. They're trying to create hate where there's not hate. The Second Amendment doesn't care what color you are. Okay, what it says in the Second Amendment is the right to bear arms shall not be infringed, right? So it doesn't say it only counts if you're this color or that color. That's not how it works at all. The Second Amendment is the Second Amendment, and they are attacking the Second Amendment, and they need to stop. Now, I'll tell you right now, I guarantee you 100%, as soon as I put this video up, it'll be demonetized. Guaranteed 100%. Because if you are pro Second Amendment, my channel is one of the channels I absolutely under attack now. My numbers have been slowly coming down because they are targeting me, shadow banning, or whatever they're doing. That's what they do. That's the game that is played. So if you are not subscribed to the channel, please do so. I would appreciate it. I would appreciate the support. You know, make sure you hit the bell icon to get the notifications. But it's just, I've been watching the numbers just gradually be eroded day after day after day. And I'm just like, it's amazing to me. You know, when this all started, partway through last year, I was rocking along. I was 100 plus subscribers a day. And I was just like amazed how fast the channel was growing. And then all of a sudden, they started, you know, locking the brakes on channels like mine that speak the truth, that encourage people to live off grid and be free. Heaven forbid that we should encourage each other to be free and not be a slave, because that's what we all are. You go to your job every day like a good citizen, pay your bills, because that's what they want. They want you to have the big house. They want you to have all the frills and the bells and whistles, and you better have the big car and the toys and, you know, and everything else. That's what they want you to do, because they want you to be in debt. They want you drowning in debt, so you are a slave to that job, that you have to go to that job to pay those bills. And then when they're done with you at that job, they will throw you away like you're a piece of garbage and not even care. And that's the reality of it. So when we stand up for ourselves and say, hey, wait a minute, I don't want to live like that anymore. I want to live somewhere, something decent, and have a life and have freedom, you know. And if you project that and you talk about that, you know, oh yeah, I like that. Yep.
Jennifer Romo just said free education is not free. You're exactly right. Somebody's going to have to pay for it. Absolutely, somebody's going to have to pay for it. And you know, I had a great solution to that free education for college and trade schools. And I've talked about this, guys. I've talked about this before. Think about if you went to college, all college would be free. All trade schools would be free. You sign up, you get on there, but you agree when you go that once you graduate, for the rest of your life, let's say 2%, we'll call it 2%, which I don't think 2% of your paycheck would be bad, goes back into that fund to fund that education. Think about that would fund itself in no time at all. And for the rest of your life, you pay 2% of your, pay in taxes. They take that out of there and it goes into that fund to support trade schools, to support colleges. There would be no problem at all. We would be flush. There would be no issues with anything. And anybody then who had a brain in their head that was smart enough, that had the grades, could go and get those great educations for free. And for the rest of their lives, 2% is nothing to pay back for that. And that's just that way it pays for itself. It's not coming out of the taxpayers' dollars. It's because you went to school and you became a doctor and you got that education. So the rest of your life, 2% of whatever you make goes back in to support other people to go there. I think that's absolutely fair. That's just my opinion. That would be the way that I would do it. And I think that would absolutely work. College is just training for liberals. Well, to a degree. There's a lot of good people that, and being liberal is not necessarily bad. It's the degree of liberal that's bad. That's what the problem is. When you have these extremists, both sides, left or right, the extremists trying to dictate what everybody else should do, that's wrong, But, it's just this thing going on in Virginia, the rally. Again, I want to try to stay on track on this a little bit tonight. I think it's important. I think this could be a definite stepping stone of what happens next. Again, if there's agitators involved, people trying to go there to cause trouble, it could go sideways really, really quickly. So that was the one thing I would caution people on. It's a great opportunity for them to round up a whole lot of people that they consider agitators in a hurry. So think about that as well. So I just, and again, they're going to be monitoring everything. They're going to be filming everything. They're going to be, like I said, taking pictures of cars, license plates. They're going to do facial recognition with people. So if you're there and you're like, rah, rah, Ron, they know who you are. And if you don't think you're a target because of something like that, you absolutely are. You go on a list as an agitator, somebody causing or trying to stir up trouble. That's what will happen. And I'm telling you right now, there will be people in that crowd that are there for strictly nothing but try to create chaos. So that's what people need to be careful. Yeah, the kitty, he wants to go out. Hold on one second, guys. Let me let him out. Okay. So I got to show you the t-shirt, okay? It says, let them hate so long as they fear. So it's a t-shirt I've had for a while, and I don't wear it that often anymore, but I was in the mood to wear it today, so I did. So we had pretty nasty weather here the last couple of days, done nothing but snow, cold, wind. Today was a little bit warmer. But Prepper Days says, proud of those brave people going there. And I absolutely have 100% respect for anybody that's going to go. My thing is I would make sure you use caution. I talked to a good friend of mine today down in Washington, and he said, I'm not going. And I said, I don't blame you. And we talked about why, and one of the things we talked about is people, Kansas City Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. Yeah, it's the first time in a long time for Kansas City. Long time. So, and what I think is very funny about that whole thing, Sammy Watkins, who used to play for the Buffalo Bills, I think he had 7 receptions for like 114 yards and a touchdown the last I saw. So I thought that was hilarious because they got rid of him, and he's thriving in Kansas City. Just something completely off topic, but that's just, And it looks like it's going to be San Francisco, because San Francisco in the first half stopped a mud hole in Green Bay. So, but anyway, always random, right? But
Yeah, you know what is so Moonlight just said random prepper thought watching the Virginia rally and doubling down on food storage. Continue to get ready, guys. That is the suggestion that I would guarantee. You really need to be getting ready, and I've talked about this in the past, and I'll say this again for you guys. Per weapon that you own, per weapon, my advice is 2,000 rounds per weapon. That would be my rule of thumb, because when the time comes, you're going to have what you have. It's it's definitely it's a scary situation. It is. The whole thing down there is so many ways that tomorrow could go wrong, and only one way that it could go right. So that's it's just I would suggest caution people. Just use caution down there. Be very, very safe, because it, like I said, it can go really, really bad fast. Prepper Days just said gun cleaning kits. Yeah, that's a good thing too. Absolutely. Do you think civil war could break out across the country? I think that if they continue with this whole gun grab thing, and if this thing continues and accelerates, I absolutely see that is a possibility that could happen, because people have had enough. And I'm not, no disrespect for these other countries, but we are not the UK. We are not Australia. We are not New Zealand. Okay. We are not laying down. People, they want to say that we're crazy and that we love our guns or whatever. Let's see, Bradley, love you, brother. Heaven help us all tomorrow and in 2020. Thank you very much, Bradley. Thank you for that donation. I appreciate that. But yeah, it's just, there's so many things, like I said, to just keep prepping, keep getting ready, because when the time comes, we're going to have what we have, and that's it. And we're going to have to deal with the ramifications of whatever they pull. I would be very careful tomorrow. That's that. Like I said, again, I'm going to say it probably 10 more times, but I think that we really need to be cautious. Guys, if you haven't shot me a thumbs up yet, I see we got almost 750 people in the chat. If you haven't, just a way to show support, if you would shoot that thumbs up, I would appreciate it. We love our country and our rights. Yeah, but like I said, we're not like these other countries that lay down, and now they regret laying down. Now, and I love this thing too. This is what I love too. Well, we're allowed to have guns in the UK, and we're allowed to have, guns in Australia. Yeah, if you get permission, if you keep things exactly as they say that you can keep them. But here's what I want you guys to think about. In the UK, in Australia, in New Zealand, okay? So you have all these laws that you have to have your guns locked up in a certain place and your ammo locked up someplace else and all this type of stuff, right? Got all these great laws like that. Criminals don't follow the law. When they break into your house, they're going to have a loaded gun. They don't care, okay? So being able to protect yourself, that's our right. That is our right under our Constitution in the United States. If you broke into my house tonight, they're going to take you out in a body bag. That's the bottom line, okay? And I don't have to have my stuff all separated. So there you go. But because it's like, we're still protected here to a degree, even though they continue to try to take things away. We have that right to be able to defend and protect ourselves. When they take that away, the criminals will be all over the place doing whatever they want with no fear. The reason I live in the country, right? So you guys all know that I live out in the woods and I'm in the middle of nowhere, right? Everybody out here is armed. You know how many house break-ins we have when people are home? We don't. You know why? Because everybody's armed. Everybody knows that everybody has a gun out here. What does my t-shirt say? I missed it. It says, let them hate so long as they fear. That's what the t-shirt says. Just one of those shirts that I picked up somewhere. I saw it and I thought that was really cool. Because I obviously, you guys know I have a lot of haters, which is fine. If they disarm the public, no other right matters. You're exactly right, Jason Schmidt. And that's what they're absolutely trying to do. And I love when they try to use that. Well, common sense gun laws, that's BS. It's just another way of taking away your guns. Yep, judged by 12 is better than being carried by 6. Exactly right. And you know what the best part is? The older you get, a lifetime in prison is not a bad thing. As you get older, so what are you going to have to take care of me and change my diaper down the road? Okay, Crazy. I think we need a complete overhaul, in my opinion. Yep, give something for the haters to hate. Well, here's and like I said, any channel out there. There's some channels that I watch, and one of the guys, he's up in Canada, and he's got just a nice channel. He built a log cabin all by himself. Now his wife has just moved in with him. He gets thumbs down. He gets hate, and the guy does nothing political. He's showing his life, what they're doing, and it's amazing. It doesn't matter who you are out on YouTube. Somebody's going to hate you no matter what. So I say let them hate. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Like I said, a total reset of the government. Yeah, I think, you know what? Well, what we need to have, do you still have the stand your ground thing? I have quiet weapons. Well, I don't know. I think we have the stand your ground here in New York. I believe so. I'm not 100% sure. But again, you're not going to be out in public and hopefully getting in that situation. You're going to try to get the out if you can get the out, get out of the situation if you can. You have the right to be able to see that. And I'm going to tell you what, realistically, right to defend, stand your ground, 9 times out of 10, if one individual doesn't have to pull out his weapon, he shows his weapon and says, listen, I don't want any trouble. If that other guy's got a knife or whatever, unless they're insane or drunk or on drugs or whatever, they're going to use reasonable sense and get out of Dodge. So you don't always even have to pull your weapon. And I'll tell you a great story on that. A real good story. I had a buddy of mine, Rochester, New York, was walking down the street by himself. It was night, and he's not a big dude, but he always has his pistol with him because he has his permit to carry in the whole 9 yards. And so 3 guys came up to him with knives and said, give us your wallet. And he was like, okay, no problem. And he reached in and he pulled out his pistol. Now, did he show the pistol at him? No. He took the pistol and he held it down, pointed toward the ground and said, now, what did you say? And they said, oh, man, hey, yeah, we got no problem with you. And they left. Okay. If he hadn't been armed and been able to defend and protect himself, they would have stolen his wallet. That's not right. He has the right, the constitutional right to defend and protect themselves. Now, legally, because they were trying to commit a felony, okay, they were trying to rob him, he could have killed all 3 of them. So they don't hate you. They really hate themselves, Bob. Yeah, you know what, Bob, you're right. They do. They hate about them. Well, you know what it is? When people hate people like me that I'm just trying to show you how to live off grid, try to be free, try to be happy, what they hate about that is that number one, they can't do it themselves or don't have the stones to even try. And so they perpetuate that hatred for themselves against you. And that's exactly what does happen, which is sad, which is absolutely sad. So, but like I said, I'm 100% for supporting our guys going down there and standing up for their rights. And I think it's a great thing. But like I said, it could also be a very, very dangerous thing tomorrow. And, it's going to be interesting. It's going to definitely be an interesting day tomorrow when that all goes down. So that would definitely be something that I would be paying attention to. Keep an eye on stuff, watch the news, see what's going on. And again, you got to remember too, when you're watching the news and you're watching what's going on, I would look more to the YouTubers out there that are going to be there. I know Alex Jones is going to be there. Okay. But, you are look for those guys that are putting that news out. Don't go watching CNN and CNBC and those jaded, biased channels that are going to have their agenda is to discredit people that want to have their rights. Okay, they're looking to discredit us, so they're going to look for reasons to say, "Oh, well, this happened or that happened because of this." And here's the other thing too. I want you guys to realize too, a lot of these guys on the other side of those barricades, those police officers and stuff like that, a lot of those guys are Second Amendment guys. They're really with you, even though they're going to have to do their job. Okay, but like I said, I would just go down there, protest, do what you need to do. It's a great time to turn off your television. Yeah, you're exactly right on that. Yeah. Yeah, the CNN will find the one guy with the swastika flag. Oh, yeah, and then they'll try to blame, they'll try to blame all of it on white. I love this, too. There's been a new rise in white nationalism in this country, which is crap. What it is you've had people that have had enough. This is not white nationalism. It's people in general and anybody with a half a brain in their head, okay, sees what's going on, has said, I've had enough of this nonsense and I'm not doing it anymore. You know, when you have the middle class being attacked constantly and taxed to death, to the point where, now I want you to think about this. Let's look at 1950 America to 2020 America. In 1950 America, the wife was able to stay home, okay? She was able to take care of the family and help raise the kids. The father went and worked a 40-hour week. He didn't have to work 60 and 80 hours, okay? And he was able to be an integral part of that family unit, right? So what has changed since then? What's changed since then is now mom and dad both have to work. They're relying on the schools, the babysitters, daycare to raise their children because they can't afford it, because they've been sold this false bill of goods that this is what you need to have to be successful in life. Stuff does not make you successful in life. You know what makes you successful in life? What makes you successful in life is the way that you treat people, the way that people treat you. I'm telling you right now, you get what you put out there. If you put out that negative, nasty vibe all the time, that's exactly what you're going to get back. But if you put out that positive vibe, you're going to get that back, all right? You're going to get some negativity. You know why? Because those people, like just somebody said before, they hate themselves so much that it physically hurts them when they see somebody else that's happy or content with what they're doing in life and how they're living their life. They can't stand that because they're so miserable. They want everybody to be miserable. And that's sad. You know what? Family is what it's about. That's the core of everything. Your kids are your future, folks. When you're letting somebody else raise your kids all the time and being an integral part of how your kids are acting and what they're doing, you need to be involved. You need to be involved in those kids. And I'm going to tell you what, separated couples, mom and dad didn't get along, so they go their separate ways. We really need to have it so that it's shared time. And if one parent, can have the kids for part of the time, the other parent can have them for the other time. Because there's a lot of games that get played, and the kids are used as tools and pawns, which is unfortunate. But don't forget, we are also taxed a lot more than in the 1950s. You are absolutely right about that. We absolutely are taxed a lot more. So how far away from Lake George am I? Quite a ways from Lake George. That's upstate, way upstate. So quite a ways from there. There you go. Scan Family says, my husband and I work different shifts, so we didn't have to pay for daycare. And that's a smart way of doing it. I'll tell you what, the way we did it when my kids were little, I told my ex, I said, you stay home until they're both in school full time, meaning the twins, because Josh was already in school. I said, you stay home full time until they're both in school. Then I asked her to work part time. So what I did for those years, I put in 66 hours a week. That's exactly what I did. I worked 6 days a week because I did that. I made the sacrifice, not just trying to say, oh, look at me, fantastic me. No, because I'm telling you what, I missed out on so much with my kids when they were little because I had to work all the time. I missed a lot, which makes me sad, to be honest with you. Being able to be in that position later on when I got to spend a lot more time with my kids, when I changed my situation, and being able to have that time with them was the best thing in the world. And I worked nights so that when the kids were home, they were sleeping when I was at work. So then that way I could be home in the evening for them, get them squared away, get them put to bed at night, and then I would go to work. So that's the way I did it then, and that worked for me. So, but family's everything, guys. It is everything. And those kids are going to grow up. And they're going to go on with their lives. And what are they going to remember? That's what you got to remember. What legacy do you leave with those children? Do they remember, well, dad and mom were both gone all the time. We never hardly ever saw them, Do something with that. Make it different if you can. Because I'm telling you right now, is a recent empty nester, as you guys know, it's a huge adjustment. And it's, that time that I had with my kids, nothing beats that. Being able to be here, to get up every morning and take Heather to the school bus her senior year, being there to be able to get her off the school bus every day, going to every one of her events and nothing interfered with that. That was important to me. Yeah, Mr. Rose is, I think, Harry, oh, he's better. How you doing, Miss Rose? I hope you're feeling better, my friend. I know you had an issue there, and I didn't want to put it out here on YouTube, so I kind of left that quiet. So just so know, but I'm glad to see that you're back, and hopefully you're feeling better. I'm getting better, less pain, he says. That's good. Good to hear, Mr. Rose. I'm glad to hear that. But anyway, guys, too, if you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, what are we at, 35 minutes in? I cannot believe they haven't interrupted this, which is awesome. But I guarantee it'll be demonetized. Which is, that's okay. I knew they were going to do that, but that's okay. So if you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, if you would do that, that would be absolutely awesome. I would appreciate that. But, there's that movement going on out there. They want the guns gone. And there's a reason that they want the guns gone. And it's about total and complete control. If they know that we can stand up and say no more, and that we have the guns to be able to do that. And I've had people say, well, the military's got all this high-tech stuff and they can do this, that, or the other thing. They still fear us. If they disarm us, they have no fear of us. And then it is total control. Then it's absolutely another Nazi Germany. You look at the history of what has happened in different countries around the world when they disarm people. We can go to Nazi Germany. Look what happened there, okay? You look at China. Look what happened there. There's a lot of examples. Cambodia is another one, another example. A lot of people were killed after they disarmed everybody. So, you know what? I don't want to be a victim. That's not what I want to do. That's not what I want to, be. I want to be able to defend myself, and I want to be able to be free. I want to be left alone, as far as that goes, and, just continue to do what I'm doing and just try to live my life. And I think a lot of people want that. They just want to live their lives. And I think that that's important, that we should be able to do that. We shouldn't have to ask permission. That's the biggest thing. And I want you to think about this, guys. Talking about being taxed to death, okay? 100 years ago, you didn't have to get a license to go fishing. 100 years ago, you didn't have to get a license to go hunting. 100 years ago, you didn't have to have a permit to be able to have a pistol or a gun or whatever you have, a rifle or whatever. You didn't have to have permission, okay? Even back then, you didn't have to have a license. You weren't forced to get insurance on that vehicle and all that type of stuff. So, those are all, think about the controls that are put in place now. So you go out and you get your driver's license, you pass your road test, you get your driver's license, and now you're on the road. You basically are saying, okay, now you can tax the crap out of me. Different states, they have all the tolls all over the place. Like if you drive I-90, you're paying a toll on I-90 here in New York State. And it runs all the way across the state. So it's a great shortcut, to have. But again, you're going to pay for that privilege of driving on it. Okay. The taxes, so you look at the taxes every year, your property tax, I know in New York State it does anyway, every year that property tax goes up every single year. Never goes down, never seen it go down one time yet, so where's all that money going? And I know things cost more and everything else, and I understand that part of it. But again, you're being taxed to death, and they've done it in such a slow, methodical way that we're used to it now. We have this sales tax in New York State. I think it's up to 8% now, so it's crazy. So anything you buy, as long as, if not food, you're going to get charged an 8% tax on it. That's already money you've already been taxed on out of your paycheck already. So it's a tax on top of the tax. And then we have our gas tax. Let's not forget that they're jumping on top of everything else. And now, and this is something too, and I wanted to address this because I had actually somebody wrote me an email about this, and I thought this was quite interesting. Had a gentleman that is he chews tobacco, and at his workplace, because he chews tobacco, he is considered higher risk, so his premiums are higher for his health insurance because he chews tobacco. And so what he said to the people in the office, he said, well, what about the heavy people? Are you charging them more, because they're a lot bigger health risk than I am? And he said, no, they said that would be discriminatory. Well, isn't going after the people that smoke or chew tobacco, isn't that discriminatory? But that's socially acceptable to shame and look down on people that smoke and chew tobacco. It's absolutely crazy. And you look at New York State, what the taxes are on cigarettes, it is absolutely ridiculous. There should be a fat tax. Exactly, James. big time. 7% tax in Ohio. Wolfgang just said. Okay, yeah, and it's never ending, guys, and it's never ending. So for people like myself who've decided to get off that hamster wheel, downsize, try to live a more sustainable life and an easier life and less stressful life. Now I'm going to tell you what, the biggest killer in life is going to be stress. So if you're stressed out all the time, figuring out how you're going to pay for everything, that's stressful. That's not fun at all. Not at all. Okay. But if you change your situation so the stress is not there and you don't have to worry about those type of things, life just got a whole lot easier. And that's what people need to think about, And like I said, and the one thing, and here's something I want to share with you if I share nothing else with you tonight. The one thing in life that you're never, ever, ever going to get back, guys, is time. So what do I mean by that? Today is here. Tomorrow is the future. Back here is the past. That's gone. You're never getting that back. You can wish and hope and wish something were different. Never going to make any difference. That's dead. That's gone. That's history. What you have right here now and forward, that's what you have control over. And that's what a lot of people lose sight of. They don't think about that. This is what I have control over. What can I do? And here's what I want you guys to take away from this too. What can you do to make your life better? What makes your life better? Does money make your life better? I don't think so. Money helps, don't get me wrong. Absolutely money helps. But what makes your life better? What makes your life better is having peace of mind, being at peace, being a decent person, being decent to other people, helping out when you can help out. I think that's what makes a decent human being. And that's just my opinion on that. So, what do we got here? Grow weed, smoke that. There you go. Since I moved out of where I was, I've lost weight. Well, there you go, Delbert. Yeah. And it's like, you know what? Getting yourself out of stressful situations, putting yourself in different situations, it makes life better. It gives you more peace of mind. I know that, with what I do here, it's a lot more work. Okay. But it's not like I sit here and get up every morning and go, oh my God, I can't believe I got to go out and take care of the chickens, or I have to get the dogs out and I have to feed the cats and whatever, you know what I mean? That's a labor of love, and I enjoy doing that. And I love interacting with my chickens. I love interacting with my animals. I'm really blessed, Oh yeah, we got 826 people and we're at 535 on the thumbs up. Guys, let's shoot that thumbs up, please. Show support for the channel. And again, if you're not subscribed, please do so. I definitely would appreciate that. It just shows support for the channel, and it helps keep me doing what I'm doing. I love being on here every day and helping people out. But, and showing people that this is a doable thing. You got to remember, I moved out here with 2 children, one with autism, and I had everybody and their brother at that time that I knew personally telling me, there's no way you're going to do this. This is not going to work. And again, my thing is, I said, watch me. And that's the stubbornness. You have to have that stubbornness. You have to have that will to drive on even when bad things happen. And anybody that knows my story knows that the day before we moved out here, I found out I had cancer. Now, that would have stopped a lot of people in their tracks. I looked at it as a road bump. Okay, this happened. We got to deal with it, and you got to move on. And that's exactly what we did. So the next day, after I found out I had cancer, I had to move out here. And I had everybody that I knew was calling me and were like, oh my God, I can't believe you got cancer. How are you doing? What are you thinking? And I said, I'm not thinking about anything. I'm moving. That's what I have to focus on today. So you focus on whatever you got control over that particular day. Once I met with my cancer doc and got that all squared away, I said to her, what do we got to do to get this out of me? And that was my attitude from day one. I'm not going to feel sorry for myself. It is what it is. Did I wish to have cancer? Absolutely not. I don't wish anybody ever had to deal with cancer, ever. Because it's a disgusting, horrible thing to have. Too many good people have died because of it. And but the thing is, it's like, with anything that you face in life, you face it head on and you work through it and you move on. And it's amazing when you do that, when you have that attitude, when you have that I'm not going to quit and I'm going to make this happen attitude. It's amazing how things come together and they fall into place. It always does. I missed something there. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, I'm cured. Well, the kind of cancer that I had, Mary, was a very rare form of skin cancer. It was a deep tissue cancer. I never had to do chemo. I never had to do radiation, anything like that. So I was very, very lucky in that aspect. The type of cancer that I had, like I said, was a deep tissue cancer. It affects 1 in a million people. So lucky me, I win the cancer lottery, right? But my cancer doctor said, in all honesty, if you had to pick a cancer, you picked the right one. And I went, okay. They were able to go in, take it out, and basically it has a 98% cure rate. And in only 5% of people does it metastasize, means it moves to another part of the body. And so that happened when I was 50. I will be 55 in June. So July be my surgery date. It'll have been 5 years, starting my 6-year cancer-free in July. So I'm very, very blessed, very, very lucky. I consider myself very lucky to, number one, have the kind of cancer that I had, that it wasn't something worse, and that I'm still here and I'm alive. That is a blessing in itself. People don't realize, being a nurse and seeing what I've seen through the years and dealing with the death that I've dealt with and everything else, it gives you such an appreciation for life that a lot of people just don't have. And we need that. We need to have that appreciation for life, because life is so short, and it's over in an instant, absolutely over in an instant. So, it's really important that we think about that and focus on that. Just try to be happy. That would be the biggest thing. There's a young person that I know right now, and I'm not going to say who it is, that has dealt with some trauma when they were younger, some bad trauma, not good trauma at all. And I've tried to reach out and help this person a lot. I really, truly have. And they're a mess. They are a mess right now, and I see it. I know exactly what they're going through, and I can't help them because I don't want the help. And that hurts. That really, really hurts when you want to help somebody that truly needs that help and they're just lost. The one thing about being alive and living as long as and I'm not like old by any stretch, but as you get older, you've got that life experience. And so you see things and you know things that, younger people don't. And you try to impart that wisdom on them and try to help them. And I think that that's important to do. I really, truly do. And if you can do that, that's great, but, let's see. I have just finished chemo. Didn't work. Now I have another surgery. Martha Stone, I wish you the best of luck, hon. I really do. It's not a fun thing to deal with. That is for sure. Not a fun thing to deal with at all. So I wish you the best of luck, and I hope it works out for you. Because like I said, cancer is no joke. It is no joke. It destroys lives. I watched my grandfather rot away from cancer. I watched my grandmother rot away from cancer. Not a fun way to go. Not at all. So, let's see. As a nurse, you want to help everyone. Some don't want to be helped. You're right, William. You're right. And some don't want to be helped. They're happy in their misery, which is sad. And it is. It's and it's funny because it's like I've gone from worked as a nurse for years and years and years. Actually, next month will be 2 years since I retired, and I don't miss it at all. I'll be honest with you. I miss some of the patients that I had, but the politics and the BS I don't miss. But being able to do this full time, and if this is my job, if you will, YouTube, and then I get the freedom to be able to do things on my property that, like, we got so much done last year. It was awesome. If I was trying to work a full-time job and trying to do all that, it never would have happened. Never would have happened. So, the after effects of chemo sucks. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. It's not a pleasant thing to deal with at all. Not at all. Well, you're putting poison in your body is what you're doing, But anyway, it's being able to be here to do what I want to do, to make things happen, to try to help people. And again, so I went from helping people as a nurse, right? Now I'm trying to help people through YouTube. And how am I trying to help you? I'm trying to help you in a couple different ways. I'm trying to help you to help yourselves. That's number one. Trying to wake people up to what's really going on out there and what the agenda is, and how we need to band together and work and take care of ourselves. We need to get back to that mentality. We need to get back to saying, I'm not relying on the government anymore. The government wants you to be reliant on them, because then you never want them to go away. People that are getting all kinds of assistance, they don't ever want the government to go away. They always wanted to be there. So, that don't be in that position if you can help it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I realize some people have medical issues and, they're on disability or whatever, and they can't help it. I get that. That happens. That's, but that doesn't mean you still can't prep, I refused chemo against the advice of my doctor 6+ years later, and I'm still here. Oh, there you go, Dear Haven. Good for you. But you definitely probably changed something in your lifestyle and what you were doing and stuff like that. I'm sure you were. I'm sure you changed that. Oh, Bendover's looking for a date again. If you would just get him out of here. Thank you, JJ. I appreciate that. I don't know why some of these people are always trying to get a date. It's very sad. They have nothing better to do. And thank you, moderators, for getting the garbage out of here, because we don't need that. That's unnecessary. Let's see. It's only a matter of time before the grid goes down and people can't rely on the government. You're right. It is a matter of time, and it will happen. Our grid is antiquated. It is in horrible, horrible shape, and it wouldn't take much for that grid to go down. And when that grid goes down, now you're talking about a true nightmare, depending on how long it's going to be down for and all those type of things. So that's something to think about. So what are we at, 616 on the thumbs up? Let's see if we can hit 700 tonight. That would be a nice little jump. I think what is our record like? I think the record, is 776. I think the record is. A. Atkins, I pray for you and all the followers and the good people of Virginia and my state of West Virginia, the best for Virginia. And you know what? And absolutely, my thoughts are with Virginia all the way, for the people that are going to be there tomorrow. And thank you for that donation as well. I appreciate that. We definitely need to support each other. Okay. Oh, 769 is the record. Okay. Law and Order Prepper said 769 is the record. So guys, we could beat that today. We're at 636. So if you haven't shot that thumbs up yet, guys, I would appreciate that if you would do that. Did you hear about the meatless burgers with estrogen? I think it's to calm people. You know what? I've heard about the meatless burgers. I never had any desire to try one. Bendover is so lonely, Mr. Rose said. Well, some people are just sad. And I think about this, guys, that you were such a pathetic and sad person that the only way that you can try to get attention is to try to come in and disrupt somebody else, or make somebody else feel bad. That's what's sad. Let's see. Oh yeah, estrogen lowers sperm count. Yes, it does. Yep, it absolutely does. I always wanted more. Now I just want my grandparents had in the early 80s. Yeah, you know what? It's funny. As you get older, chasing that golden ring isn't so important anymore. Like I said, the one thing that we're never, ever, ever getting back, guys, is time. Time is going to continue to go on, and we're never going to get that back. So what are we at? 659. So we need 110 to tie our old record. So if you haven't shot that thumbs up yet, guys, please show that support. Let's see if we can beat that record, because we got a decent crowd in here tonight. And again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, if you're new, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. They continue to erode me as far as subscribers go. I still have people will write me and tell me they unsubscribed me. I didn't realize it, and now I'm back. I subscribed again. They're doing it all the time. And they're not just doing it to my channel. They're doing it to a lot of channels. I don't know why they want to play that game, but that's what they do. So it's unfortunately. My favorite era was the 70s. What was yours? The 80s were a lot of fun. The 80s were a lot of fun. I got to say that. It was a lot of good music in the 70s and the 80s. Really, really good music. And it was an interesting time to be alive, that's for sure. I just saw something the other day. I saw a post, and I had to laugh. And it shows the guy, and it said, you just wash your hair with Pert Plus. And I haven't thought about Pert Plus in years. But in the 80s, I washed my hair with Pert Plus, which was freaking hysterical, because they were like right on the money, and what they were saying and stuff like that, which I thought was hysterical. But it was so, typical 80s stuff that went on. But that's what we did back then, So that was pretty funny. But 70s and the 80s is kind of when I grew up. And so that time period was very, very interesting. Like 1776, when the country turned 200 years old, I was 12 years old, or 11 years old when, that happened. So, that was an interesting time. And then I remember thinking, God, if I could make it to 300 years, for the country, I said that would be pretty cool. But, making it to 111 is probably not an option, not going to happen. So, but that was pretty neat. Suave shampoo. Yes, James. I remember Suave as well. But I use Pert. I remember that. Big hair. I'm going to tell you what, loved the big hair on the ladies back then. Man, and then, I had my hair was long and I had it feathered in the middle, parted in the middle and feathered. And they had this big study out that if you had your hair parted in the middle, you were on drugs. And it was crazy. It was crazy. But yeah, good times. Apparently hair is overrated. Well, I'll tell you what, I started thinning out and started shaving it down. And the twins have never seen me with a full head of hair, because the last time I had hair, a full head of hair, they were babies. That was at the wedding. And they were 5 months old then. And like shortly thereafter that, I started shaving it. And I've been shaving my head ever since. And even if I could grow my hair back, I would never grow it back. This actually today, as you can see, it's a little bit darker here. Tonight's a shave night. I got to shave my head tonight. Every other day. I do it every other day. So I use baby shampoo, no eye burn. There you go. Yep, there you go. Nothing wrong with that. So what are we at? 687. We're less than 100 away. Let's set that new record, guys, with a thumbs up. If you haven't shot that thumbs up yet, please do so. Was 8 in 1776. I think you mean 1976. If you were 8 in 1776, Cecil, then you are the oldest person on the planet. Congratulations. Children cause hair loss along with insanity. Well, it's that, and then the white in the beard. Well, that comes from being married twice. That's what that caused all that. I used to tell my ex-wife, I said, "You see all this white?" I go, "That's all your fault." So, I'm going to say what I normally say at this point, because we're getting close to the end here, and we're at 702 on a thumbs up. So we can do it, guys. We can set the new record today. 769, I believe somebody said was the record for thumbs up. So let's see if we can jump past that. That would be awesome. We are legion, guys, because we are many. That's important to remember. I want everybody to remember that, because that is really, really important. We are legion because we're all over the country. We're all over the world. There's so many of us out here. Where's everybody from tonight? Show me in the comments where you guys are all from. So, but we are this big family. We really, truly are. We got Florida. Let's see. Sodus, Michigan, Illinois, Prince George, BC, Canada, Virginia, Nevada, Indiana, northeastern Kentucky. We have Montreal, Canada, Linden, Texas, Australia, Tennessee, Florida. We got South Jersey, Bama, California, Ohio, North Carolina, Oklahoma, California, New Zealand. This is going by fast, so I'm trying to catch them. We got, let's see, North Carolina. Oh, man, it's really flying. Texas, Maryland, Enemy Lines, USA, exactly. Alaska, Pennsylvania, Colorado, New Hampshire, Illinois, Central Connecticut, Washington State, Northern Alabama, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Colorado, Connecticut, Virginia, North Carolina, Maryland, Central Kentucky. We had Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Colorado, South Carolina, Washington State, East Texas, Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. We got Connecticut, Colorado, Alberta, Canada, Georgia, South Carolina, shores of Connecticut, Detroit, that's in Michigan, Hale, Michigan, Northern Maine, New York City, very nice, Michigan, Napa Valley, that's in California, Connecticut, Arkansas, Cornelius, Indiana, Cornsville, I think that's what that's, sorry, the Netherlands, very nice, Christmas Valley, Oregon, Arizona, Southern Michigan, New York City, Colorado, Western Massachusetts, Madison, Minnesota. So, guys, we're all over the place. We're all over the planet. We're all over the state. We're this huge, huge network of people.
And I'm telling you, nobody can stop us if we organize and work together. Nobody can stop us. And they don't want you to organize. That's the thing too. They want you to continue to hate each other, continue to perpetuate the nonsense that they try to push every day. And anybody that's truly awoke, that racism nonsense that they're trying to get us going with all the time, you've put that behind you, because that's nonsense. All of that is absolute nonsense. There's no reason for it. Nobody is better than somebody else because of the way they look, the way they talk, the color of their skin. You know, that's pure ignorance, that they let you lead you down that road and you follow along willingly and say, yeah, I'm going to buy into this nonsense. You know, unnecessary, and it doesn't do any good, and it will never stop. They want us to be divided, because if we are united and work together, there's no stopping us, and they know that. And so tomorrow is going to be an interesting day as far as down in Virginia goes. Again, my thoughts are with the people down there. Don't buy into the rhetoric. Don't buy into the BS. Pay attention to what's going on. I would listen to alternative news channels on YouTube and stuff like that to get your information about what's really going on, because whatever happens tomorrow, it will be spun the way that they are told to make it spin. So remember that too. If there's agitators in the crowd, most likely they're plants, because I'm thinking most people that are going to be there are going to just be there because they want to show their support and say, you're not taking more of our rights away. And that's what the real thing is supposed to be about tomorrow. So watch out for the agitators. Please be safe. You know, it could turn into a really, really bad thing. It really could. And I hope it doesn't. I really hope it doesn't, but it would not shock me if it does. So what are we at here? We're at 728 on the thumbs up. I'm going to ask for one more push here, guys. We got 769 is our number. So we're 41 away from tying the high. And then let's see if we can jump past it. So if you haven't shot that thumbs up yet, please do so. Let's see how high we can get this up here before I jump off of here. I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely awesome job every time in here, keeping the chat clean. I appreciate you guys. You guys do an awesome, awesome job. Thank you for the support. Thank you for being here for all the shows when you don't have to be. I do truly appreciate that. Thank you guys all for coming and showing support and being here. That means a lot to me as well. It really does. I appreciate that support. You guys are awesome, and you're why I'm on here. You're why I'm here every day, sharing my life, sharing what we're doing up here. And somebody had asked how Heather was doing in school. Okay, she just finished up her first half of school. She just started her second half of her first year. She's a freshman. 3.7 GPA for the first semester. So she's off to a fantastic start. Very, very smart girl. There's no stopping Heather. Heather's going to accomplish whatever Heather wants to accomplish because she's a smart girl. We're at 767, so we're 2 away from the record, guys. I'm not jumping off till we break the record today. So we got to get it. We're going to hit 770, and then I'll jump off here. If we hit 770, and then I'll jump off. But there we are, 770, just like that. So new record for thumbs up, which is awesome. I appreciate you guys. See, now we're even higher. We're at 773. Thank you guys for the support. I appreciate that. Honey Badger 101, thank you very much. I appreciate the donation, hon. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank all you guys for your support. You guys are why I'm here. You guys are why I do what I do. Even the haters show support, believe it or not. Just being the haters that they are. So they show support by being here, watching this stuff as well, even though they hate me, which I think is sad. If they ever sat down and really got to know me, they would know that I'm a decent person. But, you know, they're too caught up in their own hatred, which is a sad thing. So I wish everybody the best. We're at 785. I'm going to jump off here, guys. I hope everybody has a great night. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you had a good weekend. Hopefully the weather gets a little bit better here and it stops snowing. That would be nice too. But I will talk to you all later. I haven't done the end of my stuff. I did the end of my stuff. I already did it. All right, guys. I will talk to you all later. Have a great night. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now. And 788. That's going to be the new number, guys. 788.